Okay, my wonderful student Bill, whose dream is to become a movie director, and I'm very confident he will succeed. Now, he is going to give me a wonderful presentation on one of his favorite movie. Bill, impress me.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about Phantom Thread or Phantom Thread, and it is a 2017 movie directed by a acclaimed director called Paul Thomas Anderson. You can know him as PTA, and it stars Daniel Day-Lewis as Reynolds Woodcock, who is a very upset, who is a very who's a perfectionist in his craft of dressmaking or in his craft of dressmaking. And when he meets a strong-willed warrior named Alma, they fall in love and they got married. They fall in love, but there is a little power struggle between his perfectionist tendencies and her strong willingness. So, um, one of the main themes. So one of the main themes in the movie is so one of the main themes in the movie is about control and power, and the way how Paul Thomas Anderson, who also wrote the script in the movie, explores this is through Reynolds and Alma's relationship, who which is um, which is a tug of war between them. And as the movie goes on, instead of Reynolds becoming stronger through the relationship, like what we see him in the first parts of the movie, he actually becomes weaker because of Alma's influence. And one of the most telling scenes of this is when Alma poisons his food. Uh, he knows that his food is poison, but he eats it anyway, which can be read as a submission towards Alma's power and a sign of him willing to show his vulnerability towards her. Now, Alma and Alma is also in this more great in this has this you don't really know she's a good person or not because a lot of her actions can be explained, but you can't really justify kind of like poisoning his food. But it has through the motivation that he can just not be his perfectionist self for around 5 minutes or so. And and you could argue that their relationship, is not good for the both of them because it's very toxic. The companionship between them is basically just a power tug, almost like a power struggle between two people who are almost too similar for their own good. They both seek control over the relationship. Um, they both seek control over the relationship, and you can argue that relationships is should be based on mutual respect and 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 let's see this mutual respect and not any kind of dominance or so. But they're both trying to assert dominance to each other, and that's what makes the movie very interesting because it's not really just a romantic movie; it's also a psychological drama that that have the flaws of the characters of Alma and Woodcock or Reynolds Woodcock goes to show in a relationship and how and how they both had to overcome it, even though it has come through very morally ambiguous ways or so. So, and of course, I think that could serve as a warning against real life relationships where it could be just, hey, don't don't try to do this, y'all. Um, don't try to do this because love should be definitely based on just mutual respect and understanding over trying to assert control over the other. And but it could also be about how you can find companionship through just through very unconventional means, um, and how you can find companionship in the most in the least likely of people you would expect. And I think you could either find that very beautiful or just very terrifying. And the movie does not decide it for you because it is left to your own means to decide it for yourself. And I think, and of course, a lot of people, and of course, the movie was critically acclaimed. It was ranked one of the best movies of the decade, and it also got nominated for a lot of awards. And one of the most notable things is that this is the last role for Daniel Day-Lewis before he retired. Um, he retired, so that's very interesting. So, thank y'all for listening to my presentation, and I'll see you next week.